Hello, and welcome to the third video in the BubbleCritic issue tracking tutorial video series. In the last video, we learned about issue types. However, we only learned about regular issue types, such as these 5 right here, bug through UX change. There is a special issue type, which is this mega issue. And in this video, I would like to explain how the mega issue works. So let's click on this issue type. And as you can see, mega issues do not have status or priority. What they do have is this background property. So let's create one. Let's put it in our build, give it a background image, cat's multicolor, and then I'll give it a title and a description. Okay, there we go. That's the mega issue. Let's create it. And here's how a mega issue looks. So here's the name of the issue at the top here, then the description down here, and you can see the background image. Now, what the point of this is to highlight a large main feature. So a mega issue is a parent for smaller issues. So inside this mega issue, we can add child issues. So let's do that. We're going to put this issue inside of this mega issue. So to do that, we click here, click on Sub Issues Plus, and say add existing issue, and then we select our issue here and confirm, and now it is inside our mega issue. So now this issue's title is a bit redundant, so I'm going to go inside of it and change the title. Okay. Now let's go back to the issue tracking system and let's add another issue inside of this mega issue, and we will create a brand new one. So let's add new issue. And now you can see when we do that, it auto selects the build for us. And there's this parent property here, which is automatically selected. This parent property will now show up when we create issues inside of build 001. Let's go take a look at making a regular issue. And so there is no parent property. However, when we select a build, then it would like to know if we want this issue to have a parent. So that's what happens when you add a mega issue to a build. So let's go back here and add a new issue that we will have open for low priority. We will say it's a bug in level 1, and the bug is okay, steps to reproduce, go to level 1, get 20,000 points. And that's all the steps. All right, so create issue. And now we have 2 sub-issues inside of our mega issue. Let's close this, and there we go. So mega issues can have any other issue type inside of them, including bugs and new features, etc. All right, so that's mega issues. Now let's look at the filter. So when you come to an issue tracking topic, by default, it will display every single issue in that issue tracking system. If you have thousands of issues, they will all be listed. So oftentimes, that's too much. You do not want to see every single issue in the issue tracking system. So what you do is you apply a filter, sometimes called a view. So right now, we can see there is no filter applied because this button here is white. As soon as you add a filter, this button becomes blue. So a commonly used filter is a build range. When we click here, we are looking at a build range. The range, however, is just 001 to 001. And now that we are only looking at the issues inside this build, this list is being filtered, and we can see that right here. So let's go take a look at all the filters we can use. To do that, we click here, and then we go to Custom Manage. So right now we are looking at a custom filter, which is all the default settings, everything turned on. However, we have this build range turned on. If we do not have a build range, then we are looking at the none filter set, meaning no filter is applied. So let's first look at this build range filter. What's cool about this filter is that you do not have to specify build numbers. There's this feature called dynamic builds, and these are the dynamic builds right here. So if I want to look at a list of only the unreleased issues, I can say I want the oldest unreleased build to the newest unreleased build. And now when builds have their statuses changed and you create new builds, this view here will automatically update to always show me all the unreleased builds and the issues with inside them. So let's apply this real quick. And as you can see, nothing changed because we only have the one build and it is an unreleased build. But I want to show you the URL that it has produced. So I'm going to copy it real quick. And then to show you, I'm going to go here to make new issue and I will paste it right here. So I'm on a local server. So this is the page where my forums are, but normally you would see your website here. And then this right here is the topic that we are looking at. Our issue tracking system has the ID of 1N, but then right here is the filters that are being applied. So if we had more filters, we would see even more characters here. So right here we can see we're looking at the build range of oldest unreleased to newest unreleased. So you can take this URL, again, it will have a real website, and send it to people, or link to it on your own website. And then when somebody goes to this URL, they will be taken directly to this view of all the unreleased builds. So you could have a link at your main page of your website, which says, if you would like to see all the improvements coming up, click here. And then that click here could link to this URL. And this URL would never have to change. It would always stay updated with all the issues that are put into builds that are yet to be released. Okay, so there's still a bit more to look at with this filtering. Let's go back to custom manage, and we have this plus button here. So right now we've created a custom filter set because it's not the default view. We are looking at a build range. If I like this set of filters, I can save it by clicking here, and let's just call it upcoming changes, and let's create it. Now we can see that this set of filters is what our filter set upcoming changes is. If we modify this, it will now say we're looking at another custom filter set, but if we put it back, it'll say we're looking at the upcoming changes filter set. So we could delete the filter set and we can edit it, change its name, make it default, which I will show you in a second, and change what filters are applied. But let's see what having this filter set does. Let's close this. So now it says we're looking at the upcoming changes. We have this ... here, which when clicked on will describe exactly what this filter set is. And then when we go here, we have the option of turning off the filters with none. And now that we've selected none, none disappears from the list. Then we can go back to that custom manage screen, or we can click on upcoming changes and go back to our filter set. So let's say there's a specific view that you're interested in. Like maybe you want to see the unreleased issues, but just the bugs and the UX changes that are not yet assigned. So let's say this is the view that you care about the most. What you can do is save it. Let's just call it unassigned. You can decide where you want it to show up in the list of filter sets. So let's make it the first item. And then we can say make default. And let's create it. Close this. And now let's go back to Super Bubble Battle. And then we'll go to the issue tracking system. And now when we come here, we have the default filter set automatically applied. And then if we click on this ... here, it gives us the details of what this filter set is. All right, so there's one more thing I want to show you back at the filter screen. But first, let me remove this as my default filter set. Uncheck that, make the change. Okay, so if you saw the issue types video, you'll remember that we added a custom component to the bugs issue type, the new features issue type, and the text changes issue type. And so when you have issue types selected that all have the same custom component, you can then filter by that custom component. The reason why we don't see that filter here is because we still have UX changes selected. So let's turn this off. And now we can see all the bugs, new features, and text changes that are inside any level that we select here. So we can do any combination of these three issue types because they all have the same component. So we could look at just bugs that are on a particular level, or bugs and text changes, but we can't look at bugs, text changes, and UI changes on a particular level because UI changes does not have that custom component. So let's look at bugs and text changes on level 1 and apply the filter, and there we go. So now our issues list is just the bugs and text changes that are unassigned in level 1 that's been put into a build that's unreleased. And I didn't show you this yet, But to look at that custom component data, you expand an issue and you click on this button here. So as you can see, this issue is on level 1. So our filter is working. And so that's going to do it. That's everything you need to know about mega issues and the filter. So in the next video, I'm going to explain all about issues and builds. So if you're interested in that, please watch the next video. But that's it for this one. Thank you for watching.